So take two.
Take two.
Look at all this gear.
Yeah.
Where'd you get this stuff?
Where'd you get it? Doirons Outfitters.
Woke up with it.
Woke up with it, and it was just magically appeared here.
Yeah. Woke up this way.
But yeah, welcome back, everybody. We're in Jonathan's man cave, and we are going to talk a little bit today about gear from Doirons Outfitters. Just some of the stuff. We'll just cover what I have here on the table. Just some of the color schemes. We may get the names wrong for the colors. So today, jointed flukes. They're going to do really good, I believe, this year. Not only in May on the Miramichi, it's going to be, I think, in June as well, up to the second weekend in June. Would you say?
Yeah. Every year's different, but that's about the run of it. Starts in May and goes right up to about the second week in June. And then those stripers that come into the Miramichi are just like tourists. Once the good weather hits, they leave the river, they go out into the coast, they go up and down the bays, or they go out into the bay and then they go up and down the coast.
Yeah.
And they're just like tourists traveling the coastal shoreline and checking out the sights. And people start catching them from, right up from Bay St. Anne all the way down to Shediac, Cocan, Grand Dig, Capillet, and further. And even further north, Tracadie, Caracat.
Right up into probably Matan. Right on the Gulf of St. Lawrence. Or Rimouski. Probably.
Yeah, no, we get flooded with striped bass here in the province in May and June, and then it's pretty much all good depending on where you're fishing. It can be good all summer.
The gear that he has, obviously, are these jointed flukes like we just said. And there's 11 different colors to choose from. Now, a lot of people lately have been, what I'm noticing on Instagram, they're taking these jointed flukes, whether it be whatever size. These are 9-inch. There's what, 7-inch ones or 6-inch ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, these little guys here, littler, bigger, good for all applications of fishing. Rigging them up with skirts. Just throwing them on jig head, adding skirts to them. A lot of people are doing that lately. Obviously, I am as well one of them because I think it's going to work really good.
That is a beautiful setup right there.
Oh, that's got the colors that you want.
You got the Pimp Daddy color. You got the River Tide jig head.
Yep. That
real hot pink.
Yeah.
With the.
And we all know the bass like the hot pink.
Ooh. Oh yeah. Phone call. And then you got that white skirt to just give it that action.
Yeah.
That pulsating action. That's awesome.
And also, even the smaller ones are jointed as well, so that's going to have an amazing action going through the water.
Or chartreuse and purple one.
Yeah.
I'm going to call that a Pimp Daddy.
Pimp Daddy.
The color pattern on that's Pimp Daddy.
Pimp Daddy.
It's got a whole bunch of shiny flakes in it. I don't know. It's like a rainbow flake because it's just multicolored.
Yeah.
But it's Pimp Daddy. And that one's a 9-inch, and that one I think is going to do really well on the bigger fish that are looking for bigger meals.
Yeah.
Now you're going to get smaller stripers that go for that, smaller fish that'll go for that, 20 inches and above. But we're going for 34s, 35s, right up to 40, 41, 42. Yeah. I've heard of 42s coming out of the Miramichi. It's a little more rare. You're going to get your bigger fish like that out of the St. John River. Or in the Bay of Fundy, like in the coastal waters, you'll get your bigger fish.
I don't have a normal fluke. Oh, yes.
Oh, there we go.
There's a fluke right there. This is a 7-inch fluke.
Oh. Secret weapon time.
I gotta hide that.
Yeah, hide that thing. It's too early for that.
But a lot of people, they'll throw those. But also this what I'd call a fluke. It's just jointed, and I think that action's gonna make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Personally, a huge difference on the Miramichi or even in the St. John River, whatever the case may be. But there's many applications that you can use with these River Tide jigs, or any jig heads that you have. I specifically have the River Tide jigs myself. I got a whole bunch of them, a whole whack of them. Different sizes, different colors. Mark's got these at his store. They're great. I suggest you pick them up. But yeah, like I said, there's many different applications that you can use. I love the pink and I love the white. Personally myself, I did pick up a couple packs of the yellow. That is yellow, right?
Chartreuse.
Anyways, chartreuse. I did pick up a couple packs of those. I know those are going to be good, but I'll probably connect, let's say, one of those It says it on the back.
I was actually looking through the bags and receipts to find the name. Like I said, at the boat show, I connected with Mark, Doirons Outfitters. They were set up at the boat show, and I was like, "What are the name of these new jointed flukes?" As I've been calling them. We're calling them jointed flukes.
Jointed flukes.
And they had a name, but it didn't stick, so I forget the name. You told me about
Blame this one on Jonathan.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sticking with jointed flukes for the video.
Yeah, jointed flukes. But I'll
chartreuse.
Chartreuse, yes. Chartreuse and pimp daddies and just your normal white flukes.
Yeah.
Your ghost, would that be considered a ghost?
Yeah.
You get a good look at that?
That's either a white ice.
White ice or ghost.
Or ghost white.
Ghost white. And so yeah, he's got all kinds of colors that you want. And another actually really big thing that I like this year that he has brought in was, I was a big fan of the sand eels for the longest time, fishing them on the Miramichi River, and obviously you got that real pink color of the sand eel. You get the real nice pink jig head with it. But, Mark,
where's your sand eels? Oh.
Yeah. I only bought one package of sand eels this year because I wanted to buy a bunch of Mark's actual baits that he has made, got brought in, and paddle tail on it, just like the sand eels. Now it's a little bit different than the sand eels itself, but I know those are going to work just as good as the sand eels, and that's why I'd rather purchase these ones instead of paying $7, $8 a pack, whatever it is for sand eels when you only get two. With a 3/4 ounce jig head. Once again with the river tide jigs. It's going to look something like that. And if you guys want to rig up one of these, all you do, all you do, I hold it like this, actually like that, and I put the top to the back of the top of the head. And there is a little bump on the back of these. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there is a little bump on the back of these. And I noticed on the sand eels, I believe there was a little bump as well. And I'm just assuming that's where the hooks come out.
That's your target.
And you can always just kind of, if you don't have a target on the back there, you can just kind of also judge where you want your hook to come out.
Yeah. And if you look, like, for the most part, that's coming right out of that target area that you're talking about. That little bump on the top of the...
It's coming pretty well right out that little bump, which is nice.
Yeah.
And this one here is a 3/4 ounce, jig head.
Man, I like that jig head with that red eye.
Oh man, I'm all about red eyes. So big shout out to obviously Paul Melanson for having these jigs and slapping those red eyes on them, because you know those are going to be deadly.
Yeah.
Now let's see if I can't screw this up.
There's just something to be said about a white jig head with red eye.
Oh yeah. Mess that up a little bit, but you get the gist.
Looks great. Looks great.
You know a bass is still going to take it. Rig one of those up just like that. Jig head.
You got yourself a paddle tail swim bait right there.
Yep, and it's gonna, you know, that's gonna be heavy.
Bounce it along the bottom just like you would a sand eel.
Yep.
Swim it through the water column at a steady retrieve.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna really get that thing too close to the top unless you're just burning it up.
Pretty well, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, look, cast that thing out there and bounce it along the bottom, or swim it through the water column like a swim bait. It's gonna work. That white jig head with the red eye, that white and pink color. That's going to attract some fish.
That's going to be, oh yeah.
That's going to attract a lot of fish.
Even the bass candies. I need to get more of these.
Big old magnums.
Yeah.
That's a big daddy right there.
That's going to be, I think, going to be great for the St. John River. I'm going to have to get more bass candies for sure, because I have the smaller ones right here. Which you also get at Mark Doirons, by the way.
I just want to show everybody these. Beautiful, beautiful 6-inch lures. You can catch a lot of fish with those. They got like a pearl shine to them.
Yeah.
So this one here is like a white bass candy color with a pearl shimmer, pearl shine to it, and that just, you'd be surprised how much more hookups you'll get with that little pearl shimmer to it. And this has that shimmer to it as well. This one's got a silver flake in it. Mm-hmm. Just awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, the amount of gear.
And you can fish these so many different ways.
Oh,
like
yes.
you could put a jig head on that, or you could put a regular weightless hook on it and fish it.
A weedless bait, whatever you want to do. The opportunities are endless. Really.
There's so many different applications.
Yeah.
Like they're showing jig heads on the back of this package. They're showing weighted hooks, weightless hooks. Yeah, versatility.
Those things are going to be great. The bass candies are a big thing. especially probably for you guys fishing the St. John River down by the Reversing Falls. Where you can fish them pretty well up right up almost into the Kennebecasis, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, those things are going to be great. You know the gear that he has, whether it be pink, strictly white, even something like that, or something like that. These are all going to be, wherever the striped bass are, there's a very good chance that you are going to catch the striped bass with this gear.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got a whole bunch at his locations. Actually, in the link below, I'm going to have both his addresses for both his locations for his store in St. John and in Miramichi, which actually just opened up, I believe,
April 1st.
April 1st, yeah. They just got her all stacked up. She's ready to go. So I highly suggest, if you can't get down to St. John because you live in Miramichi, for instance, go over to the Miramichi store. It's open. She's open for business, and you're going to find this gear here, or this gear at that location. The two best baits. Actually, you go first. What do you think the two best baits that we got on the table going to catch bass?
Go ahead and hand me that prized possession.
So this is kind of, I don't know if he wants to use it. I'm a little jealous that he has it. But that's okay. That's really okay.
Mark gave me this when we went down a few weeks ago to do
Yeah.
some shopping. He wasn't fully stocked up yet with these new 9-inch jointed flukes. So, you know, I was like, Mark, what's going to be killer this year? What's going to catch a lot of fish? And he was like, let me go back to the office. I'll be right back. He goes back to the office. He comes out. He goes, take this with you. Once again, I forget the actual name that Mark is calling these out of Doirons Sport Excellence. But I'm calling it a jointed fluke. And I can just guarantee you I'm going to catch a ton of fish with this lure. This is a white color with a really silver fleck into like the transparent top, so it's like a ghost white or a white ice. I'm just gonna go with white ice, jointed fluke. It's got that real nice split tail on it. I just like everything about this. It's a 9-inch. I like using bigger lures. I start with 7 inches and up, and I try to catch bigger fish. So I think this is definitely going to be my go-to lure. I'm going to try and get as much more of these as I can. I think Mark's still waiting on a shipment of these. Basically this and any one of these color patterns. Pink and white are our first two that we go to, and then we're going to switch over to you know, chartreuses, silvers, blues, purples. So this right here, this is already put together, but here's the lure. This is basically a paddle tail swim bait, soft bait lure. This is it without jig head on it. Again, you can fish it with almost any jig head, but these river tide jig heads, it's like they're just made for it. So this is like a blue with a silver and black flake in it, and it's just like transparent. I can see my fingers through the side of it. So it's a really, really cool pattern. It's going to catch a lot of sunlight on bright sunny days. It's going to stick out on dark days because it's got the silver and black flake in it. It's not completely see-through. It's got that blue tint to it. This thing is going to catch a lot of fish. When you rig that up with a jig head and swim that through the water, bounce that on the bottom, that's going to be another one that I'm going to be doing a lot of. So I'm going to be using a lot of these and a lot of paddle tail swim tails just like this. But there's just something to be said about that blue color right there. Not everybody's got that color. It's awesome. And another thing here that I mean, I can't go without talking about some top water. Let me just try and get one of these. One of these here is, it's like a walker. It's like a walking pattern. We got some poppers here and some walkers. So the poppers are definitely going to be working.
Now those poppers, they work really good, which a lot of people don't understand or don't know. They just don't know. Is in June up on the Northwest, you can catch a lot of striped bass on topwater.
Yes.
Mind you, you have to take those treble hooks off though. You can't rerun those. So you got to put a single barbless hook on it, but you're still going to be catching fish. I don't want to. it almost hurts me to say that because a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that using top waters. But then again, a lot of people
know. Don't. I was up there the first week of June last year, and we were throwing these paddle tail swim baits in front of hundreds of fish, and it was just swimming right by them. So if the fish are turned off to swim baits, and you're seeing that bubbling, spawning thing going on, and there's tons of fish around, throw a topwater lure on. Now, you don't have to fish just a topwater hard bait. You could fish something like this on topwater. Just put a weightless hook on that, throw it out there, and reel it in a way that it skims across the top. But the cool thing about these walking baits, this is a hard water bait. Again, you would have to take the treble hooks off of this and put a single barbless hook on for the Miramichi River system. But what you're doing, you cast this down on top of all those fish you're seeing that you just tried to catch with a swim bait pattern or an eel pattern or a submersed fluke pattern or something like that. If you didn't catch anything on that fish, it literally went right by their noses or faces, and you saw it with your polarized sunglasses. You're like, what's going on? Throw a topwater lure on and just watch. I've got video footage of a day turning around. We just weren't catching any fish. There's fish everywhere. We start throwing topwater on. We start catching fish. Literally bass start jumping after this. And it's just walking across the water. You throw this and it's going to walk across. You can kind of jerk it and get that pop in action if you really wanted to.
We'll just quickly rewind there because I had a little bit of technical difficulties with the camera. We basically talked about topwater baits for striped bass. You can get topwater gear at Doirons, whether it be walking baits. They're all jumbled up here. Whether it be poppers as well.
Ooh.
Walking, yeah.
The old chug bug.
Yes, sir. That's gonna be, I think, really good.
Topwater popper.
Yeah. It's got a nice silver tail on it, but yeah, you can catch striped bass on topwater baits in June.
Yeah.
And make sure you have topwater gear with you, kit, your bag, whatever you're using.
So just before I think the video turned off, but I'll say it again. This thing's probably 10 inches in length. This is at least 6 inches of twirl tail, and this twirl tail is like 1.5 inches to 2 inches wide. And this lure right here is like at the fattest point of it, the belly, the body of the lure is 1.5 inches. Like, she is just one big old meaty, beastly hunk of plastic fishing gear.
Yeah, and that's what you're going to be using for big bass.
Yeah,
big stripers, and this is again going back to the St. John River down by the Reversing Falls. You're going to want to throw something like that, or these big bass candies, and that's something that you're going to want to throw in a spot like the St. John River, whether it be the Reversing Falls or whatever.
Put a big old 1.5 ounces.
Maybe even 2 ounce.
2 ounce.
2.5 maybe.
Some guys will be putting
Depending on the
3,
depth.
4 ounce.
But if you're going to be fishing in the Reversing Falls, something like this, I haven't fished it myself, but I've heard the current there is absolutely unreal. So you're going to want, obviously, a big jig head, something to get it down there and get it to where you're going to want the fish to be, or where you think the fish are going to be. And you want to get it down there quick. And you want, obviously, probably something like an 8000 series reel or a big heavy rod, so you can, in a current like that, you're going to want to bring them to the boat quickly. You're not probably going to want to play with them in a massive current such as the Reversing Falls. But
yeah. And then we didn't even really talk about these.
We haven't touched on those yet. No.
I like the looks of these. I like this little back underfin it's got right here, before the paddle tail.
That is.
This must be some kind of signature lure by Elias Fishing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Elias.
Elias Fishing.
Elias 4.
Yeah. And it's got a big picture of a striped bass on the package. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, there we go.
And you can also buy these also pre-rigged at Doirons Outfitters. Yeah.
Did you buy that pre-rigged, or did you rig that?
These ones come pre-rigged. Yeah, down underneath, actually underneath the jig heads. Oh, underneath the jig heads. He's got them pre-rigged. You can buy them pre-rigged, or you can just buy them in their bag and buy a couple packs of jig heads to go with it. So
got this extreme white, you're calling it. It's just a white with like a silver flake in it.
I think that's gonna work pretty good as well.
Looking at all this smallmouth gear here, right off the bat, this one's a new one for me. This is one of my favorite color flukes to fish. This is a watermelon red flake, and then Mark had these down at his store in St. John, down at Doirons. He had these red tipped ones. The tail is red, and it's not even like a dip or a dye, because it was poured and made this way.
Yep.
That is a very translucent or transparent red.
Yeah.
And it was just like it wasn't even dyed that way.
No,
it's not like it was dipped in a dye.
Yeah.
It was made that way. So I would Texas rig this with a free
torpedo type.
with a bullet weight.
Bullet weight. That's
a free moving bullet weight. And then I'd put like a 3 or 4, maybe a 5/0. This is a 7/0 hook, but I'd put 3, 4, 5/0 hook on that, just depending on whichever one I grabbed out of the box. Start with 3 is what you can start with on a 5-inch lure. You can go right up to 5/0. This right here is drop shot money, though. I don't even know the color pattern to this. I think Mark was selling these for what, 40 cents a pop? 30,
I think so, yeah.
30 or 40 cents a pop. Get 10 or 20 of them and just call it a day. It's got Lucky Lunker City. This is made by Lunker City, this particular one. But this for drop shotting on lakes and in rivers for smallmouth bass or largemouth, if you wanted to drop shot for them, you could. Awesome. It's got like a, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's got 2 different colors, 2 different color patterns. It's got like a brownish belly and then like a blue silverish back. And then there's like a pearl shimmer to that blue back. That's awesome. And then here you got a crawl pattern. And again, one of my favorite color patterns. This thing's awesome.
I don't know if that...
Just hope you guys are seeing that, if that's focusing on that. That's a crawl pattern. So you can crawl patterns, you can put football jig heads on them. You can rig them so many different ways.
Yeah.
Here's a frog pattern. Soft plastic frog, some yellow feet on it. Here's a nice little worm, 6-inch worm. Texas rig that. I fish a lot of smallmouth bass on a Texas rig with worms or flukes or something like that. Another one of these drop shot, dream shot kind of deals.
I think that's the one that you lost that big bass on last year, that same color pattern, isn't it? When we were sitting over by...
Yeah, this is like a 2-tone purple. So just transparent on one side and a little darker with that pearl shimmer to it. And then here's just a little bug pattern with a purple flake. It's like a watermelon base with a purple flake in it. There we go. Lot of good stuff for smallies right there. Another prized possession that the camera wasn't picking up. This big old 10-inch white ice.
Yeah. That's
swim bait, paddle tail.
It's actually the same kind of as this. Same color scheme. Obviously, just a little bit different. Obviously, because it's got a paddle tail. It's not jointed, but with that being said, they're same colors.
Another fish catcher right there,
yeah,
boys.
I can't wait. We're gonna do a video on the water, Jonathan and I, of kind of how to rig it, how to use it, different types.
What gear we're using.
Yeah. And how to
the
work
rods,
it.
The reels, the line, the leaders.
Yeah, and we'll really dig into more of how to rigging up different baits, what we're using and stuff.
Yeah.
Whether what we're seeing for structure or whatever the case may be, but we'll dig into that into another video. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Just touched on some of the gear that Doirons Outfitters offers.
Tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, this is just a tip of what he has in store. So like I said, I'll leave the links to his stores in the description below. So if you guys haven't already, or if you have and you want to go back, check his gear out. Like we said, he just opened up his Miramichi location April 1st. So that's great. It's actually just in a walking distance from Richie's Wharf.
Nice. Nice.
So
yeah, a lot of people ask me like, where's his location? And he's got the location in St. John for the summer, in Miramichi.
Yeah.
Definitely click on the link, find out where those are at. Go visit them.
yeah,
Make it a point. Drive there. You will not be
disappointed at all. No,
yeah. You'll be happy.
It'll be worth the drive for sure.
Yeah.
Good luck to everybody. See you all on the water.
Yeah.
And live life cast by cast.
That's right.
Peace. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's right.
That was fun. I enjoyed this.